All right, you guys, for our next assignment, which is actually your final project already, we're going to talk about teapots. So, a teapot is basically a vessel that you can brew tea, coffee, hot water, whatever in, and then it contains a spout to pour from, a handle to hold the pour from, and a lid to keep everything nice and warm. Okay. This is your folder for this week. Right now, nothing is open when I'm showing you this. That's why it's all kind of grayed out. Okay. Because we are asynchronous, you have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday activity. Okay. And then Friday, your plans for this project are all due. So, what you're going to be working on first is going through this video that you're actually here and watching right now. That's going to talk to you about your teapot project. And there are some embedded videos inside. So, your goal is to create a thematic teapot, okay? And you can create 2 cups for extra credit if you'd like. So, our goal is to make a teapot that's designed around a specific theme or idea, kind of like you did for your dinnerware set. Doesn't have to be that idea, obviously. And then an additional 2 cups are going to be extra credit if you choose. It is not required. So, here I just threw some examples. Some are student work, not by my students, but high school students nonetheless. And some are professional examples of teapots. You'll notice that each teapot has a spout, so an area to pour liquid from. They all have handles, so handle, handle, and handle. And they all have a tight-fitting lid that keeps everything nice and secure. So, your project goals for this assignment are that you should be able to design a thematic teapot that explores the 3-dimensional space around the piece and the surface of the teapot. Use prior knowledge of hand building or throwing to create a body with a foot and a handle. You're going to fold, bend, manipulate clay while it's still soft if you're hand building. We're going to pull and attach a handle to your teapot. We're going to be slipping, scoring, and blending properly because you're going to need to blend that spout on there and the handle. And then you're going to learn and show knowledge of creating a properly fitting lid and functioning spout to pour. So, what does thematic mean? Okay. Theme means an idea or a message. Okay. So your teapot could have a bigger meaning or a concept behind it. Thematic in relation to art means it's conveying a general idea in visual form. Okay. Sometimes you can get the idea right away. Other times it might be as apparent. This was a teapot made by Paige. She really did a lot with bubble forms. So she really liked these curves and kind of bubbles. And she made this crazy handle that kind of mimicked that bubbly shape. Okay. Unity is another thing. If you think about making a cup, you want to bring the cup or the cups and the teapot together to make sense, okay? So you're utilizing elements like line, shape, space, contrast, things that you learned in beginning in order to make a work of art seem complete and create a sense of harmony, okay? They don't have to be identically matching pieces, but this teapot and cup all have those red and black spikes on them that really help to unify that set. So, to get you better prepared for this next assignment, I have a few videos that are embedded in this presentation, okay? And this presentation is linked in the Friday document that I'm going to show you here in a second, okay? I recommend watching all 3 videos today, Monday. Okay. If you choose not to watch all 3 today, you're going to need to watch them eventually. This one right here is an artist named Sage Cortez. Her Instagram handle is Hand and Fire. She builds all strictly out of hand building slabs. So these are 2 kind of dome-like shapes that she slips and square together. She's attaching the spout right here. But watch these highlights. They're pretty great. It walks you through her entire process from slab to completion. Okay. You could also throw your teapot for this project. Okay. Throwing is going to involve 2 pounds of clay for the body of the piece, about a pound or a half a pound for the lid, depending on how big that opening is, and about a half a pound for the spout. Okay. This is a quick video. It's only about 7 or 8 minutes long that really helps you understand the teapot throwing process. Granted, you don't have to make yours look exactly like his. Obviously, it just gives you an idea of what you're getting into. Okay. And then the last video that I'm going to have you guys watch this week is pulled handles, okay? This is the Earth Nation Dante Potter that I have you guys typically watch. I have some other handle videos that I'm going to show you how to find, but this one's really thorough, and I have it starting at minute 6:44, so you're not sitting here watching the entire thing, okay? There's many different ways to create handles that you can attach to your mugs or teapots, but a pulled handle is the most sturdy, well-made, well-put-together handle, okay? Pulling a handle basically means you're literally pulling a chunk of clay using water that's made in the shape of a carrot first, okay? You're going to be using both hands to pull a handle. Whoops, go back. So one hand that you write with is always the wet hand. The other hand is always the dry hand. Handles are attached when both the handle and the cup or your teapot are leather hard. Okay, so I've got some student examples to show you. And these examples don't all include pulled handles. You can see that this teapot, the student decided to create these kind of coiled pulled handle attachments right here to then wrap her rope around. You can also use bamboo handles. You can purchase those online or at Hobby Lobby. You could also create your own out of wire if you so choose. It's up to you. The main thing with your handle, though, is that it needs to be structurally supportive. Okay, here's a couple other teapots. This was a student in advance that made a donut-shaped teapot, which if you should Google a donut throwing a donut, it's pretty cool. But he ended up raccooing his, and it totally shattered. It was really sad, but we glued it back together again tediously for some photos because the colors were awesome. This is a student that never really learned how to throw until they took intermediate. So like a lot of you guys, this student didn't know anything about throwing when they walked into this class. And just watching videos, working with me, we got her to understand how to center clay. She made a bamboo themed teapot. These white bamboo leaves on the top were painted with underglaze and then wax resisted so that they had contrast between the glossy celadon colored glaze and the leaves that were, underglaze. Okay, finally, this teapot is sick. This is a dragon. This was made by a freshman in high school who had just taken beginning and then took intermediate her second semester. And then unfortunately, she never got to finish it because she moved. But this thing looks super awesome. She threw the cups and the body of the teapot. She threw the spout. She threw the lid. I mean, this girl was super dedicated. She had only taken ceramics one other time, but she worked on all this detail at her house. So I just wanted to show you that anyone can make a teapot. You just got to be committed. Okay. And then these two teapots are in here from some of my advanced students that I had a long time ago. This one I wanted to show you because she made hers taller and thinner. So she made taller and thinner cups. The one thing I really thought was cool about this was how she made the handle go up and around. We used to have a poster in the classroom that had a teapot with a handle like this, and she really wanted to do it. So what she did was she pulled a really long handle. We draped it over a bucket with some plastic wrap on it. So that way we could pop it off when it was a little bit dry. And it let it dry on the bucket for like 40 minutes, I think, so it could stay in that shape, which is pretty cool. The thing that I wasn't as keen on is that these cups were glazed to kind of match, but they don't match at all through their form, if that makes sense. Okay. And then the one on the right, again, is another advanced teapot. This student learned how to throw closed forms. So centering clay, pulling up walls, and coloring it in every time to create something that closes to a point. And then she actually cut the lid from the teapot and then threw the spout and pulled a handle. Okay. So where I want you guys to start today, your challenge for this project is to kind of come up with a thematic piece, okay? Because of that, I have created this document that kind of walks you through that. It's actually borrowed from another art teacher. It's called the Artist Process Guide, okay? And the main points of a process guide is to help you kind of think like an artist and develop a kind of style or a thematic body of work, okay? So the main thing artists do is they do research and they brainstorm, but they don't do it in the traditional sense. They're not reading a ton and researching necessarily, although they could be. A lot of it is that they're just curious and they ask questions and they want to dig into topics. So sometimes that means you can research different artists and take away some of their ideas. Like they really like the pattern on this form. They really liked all the carving. Okay. So she sketched that out in her sketchbook and kind of wrote about that. That's the kind of research I'm talking about. Okay. Developing ideas. Remember, you can be inspired by anything for this project. It does not have to be another potter. Okay. But that's kind of like the basics of your process guide. It's just building a body of information, taking notes, planning out a concept, working through your ideas, and revising and reflecting, and then coming up with your guided information, kind of using this template to kind of get you there. So this is the artist process guide I just showed you on this slide, okay? And this kind of shows you how they have replicated and taken away and included this information in their planning, which we've been kind of building to, but now we want to really take it to the next level, okay? So these are the main parts I want you to focus on. One, your challenge for this project is to create a teapot that's at least or roughly 6x6. So 6 inches wide, 6 inches tall. Okay. You can make this larger. You're going to be using hand building, wheel throwing, or a combination of techniques. Your objective is to focus on your creativity and concept. So making this an inspired piece, focus on design, and then craftsmanship and construction. So if you're one of those people that have been pressing clay together and never slipping and scoring, now is the time to really work on that construction and craftsmanship, okay? You're also going to be including reference photos for inspiration to your website, just like we did for our dinnerware set. And now you're going to also include color studies. So if you didn't do that before, I'm going to walk you through that as well. Okay. So you can kind of see in this student's sketchbook how she used all that information. She has her challenge and objectives. She has her color studies right here. She has research right here. And then she has her final sketch and she colored it. I'm not asking you to color your sketch. I'm just asking you to do some research. So where you should start is coming up with an idea and finding some reference images or inspirational images, okay? I want you to find 3 or more images that inspire your design for this project. So I'm showing you my example. I want you to include them on your website and put a little description of why you chose them. So these are some of the bridges that I included as inspiration for my teapot. Some of them include like the Fort Pitt Bridge, the Birmingham Bridge, Highland Park Bridge. Those are just a few of the bridges that are included. These are the Three Sisters bridges. They're all in Pittsburgh where I grew up, and I really like the architectural element that they give the city. So you're going to be adding those to your website and then using them for your inspiration. You can sketch as much as you want. Okay. I have you sketching for one of the 3 days this week, 5 days this week, coming up with 3 different ideas. Okay. You want to pick one solid idea for this assignment. And if you're struggling, the day that you're doing sketches is the day to ask questions. Okay. I want you to draw your teapot from both sides if you can. Okay. Since I included cups, I drew those instead for my sketch. You do need to include your measurements. Remember, no smaller than 6 inches, and then decide on your theme and write a little description. Okay. The last thing you're going to do is include color studies, and I'll walk you through this on a separate day, but color studies are just examples of colors you might want to use on your teapot. So I wanted to do like a soft white color. So what I did was actually Googled that color and all I got were light bulbs. Surprise. So I went with pale white instead. And I wrote that in my Google search and I added the word color and clicked on images. And I found some nice pale whites, off whites kind of colors. That's what I would use. Okay, this is all the information you need to add to your website by the end of this week. So you guys have 5 days to do this, okay? One is to add your challenge, and you can go back in the presentation and just copy that on. Same thing with your objectives. We talked about creativity, concept, and craftsmanship. Remember, you're adding 3 or more reference photos for inspiration. It can include design elements you like, featured art, featured details, textures, artists, nature, whatever, but find at least 3 pictures and think about why you chose them. This is going to lead your theme for your teapot. Okay. And then you're going to include your sketch and description of your piece. So remember, 2 detailed drawings of your teapot. Include those details, include those measurements, just include your description. Okay. Remember, we've got a lot of surface decorating techniques, inlays, graffito, wax resist, goodness, so many things. You guys know a lot of them. If you forget, go back to the resource folder. You can check them out. And then remember, you're adding 2 or more colors for your color study for this project, okay? It's going to be due by 2 p.m. on Friday, completely finished. So here's my example, okay? This was the teapot I had sketched out. Because mine, I changed my idea. The form that I threw wasn't as pointy and ovalish here. It was more round and kind of bulbous. So my design on the surface stayed the same, but it looks a little different, and that's okay. I still did my over-the-top handle, but I wanted to show you that even my designs change from my original inception to the final form. Cool. So that is our main focus for this week, okay? So just to go back, in this document, you should have this, this planning document will be placed in there, okay? What I want you guys to do is go through this information. The engage part today is going to be those 3 videos about Instagram. If you need to have an Instagram, I think, to log in and watch them, about how to build hand building, how to throw, and then how to create handles. Okay. One of your days this week is directly going to ask you to watch the videos. Okay. Cool. So for Monday, which is today, you're going to watch this Castify you're currently watching and then answer the question I'm posing right here. Tuesday, you're going to start looking up ideas for inspiration. Okay. Wednesday, you're going to be watching those 3 videos. So if you didn't watch the videos that are right here today in that slideshow, you're going to watch them Wednesday. Okay. Thursday, you're going to add color studies. You're going to answer the question about what colors you're planning on using. And then by Friday at 2 p.m., you should have all of this stuff turned in with that information listed on your website. Okay. There's one last thing I want you to see before you guys go. This is the document you are turning in on Friday. Okay. So remember, the engage videos are right here. This is the explore section. This is the PowerPoint on what you're watching right now. The Castify. This will tell you what to do each day. And then by the end of the week, you're going to paste your link, reflect right here, submit this guy. Okay. On our website, on my website for ceramics, next to the word intermediate, there's an arrow and there is a link here that says helpful videos. There's actually 2. The top one will walk you through jars and lids, which is a project we typically do. The teapot videos right here, the hand and fire videos right there. And there's a few other videos about spouts and throwing spouts versus hand building spouts. So if you want to jump ahead and feel free to check those out, you are by all means welcome. But remember, it's asynchronous this week. So you're going to build upon this video and answer questions for attendance each week, building you to turning in this plan for Friday. Okay, so hopefully that answers any questions you might have. If not, please ask them in your submission for today when you answer the question. Okay. All right. I will see you virtually tomorrow.